like a blanket, you know? A surge in humanitarian aid. We love our nice, committed, you know, we like our commitments, don't we, folks? Phase 2, a permanent end to hostilities. Okay. Exchange for the release of the remaining living hostages. Israeli forces withdraw from Gaza. What? What designates the difference between phase 1 and phase 2? What length of time? This is useless without, like, you could extend the step of phase 1 like for a long time, and then it's just like, yeah, you know, he said 6 weeks. It doesn't say 6 weeks here. He just said, I'm reading text, man. Phase 3, major reconstruction plan for Gaza. Final remains of hostages are returned to their families. Okay. So wait, what? Like, for the entirety of phase 2, Hamas just holds on to a few more crumpled, dead, limp hostage corpses? What? Like, no, man, we're on phase 2, not phase 3. You have to hold on to those, like, corpse bags for a little while. Okay. Masagui, where's the article that you're pulling that from? Give me the article. You're just quoting me. What is that quote from? You?
There are American hostages who would be released at this stage, and we want them home. Additional, some remains of hostages who have been killed would be returned to their families, bringing some degree of closure to that terrible grief. Palestinians, civilians would return to their homes.
My homes.
And neighborhoods in all areas of Gaza, including in the north. Humanitarian assistance would surge, with 600 trucks carrying aid into Gaza every single day. With the ceasefire, that aid could...
Remember, guys, we're voting for this guy so that we can see how... This is a science experiment. How do you think he's going to sound 4 years from now? You know? Like, December 2028. Like, how far can we push this, huh?
Be safely and effectively distributed to all who need it.
Why did it make that noise when I
Hundreds
looked
of
for that?
thousands of
Okay.
temporary shelters, including housing units, would be delivered by the international community. All that and more would begin immediately. During the 6 weeks of phase 1, Israel and Hamas would negotiate
where's the link?
necessary arrangements to get to phase 2, which is a permanent end to hostilities. Now, I'll be straight with you. There are a number of details to negotiate to move from phase 1 to phase 2. Israel will want to make sure its interests are protected. But the proposal says if the negotiations take longer than 6 weeks for phase 1.
So here we're sourcing a tweet, but, you know, it was linked in chat, which means it's probably true. You know how it is. The speech blindsided Netanyahu, who was not updated on the speech or its contents. It is based on an Israeli proposal that the entire cabinet voted on a few days ago. Did they all vote in favor of it? However, Netanyahu did not want it to go public because it included a willingness to end the war. Right, because Netanyahu wants an indefinite war. Biden went public with it to stop a change in position that would come with Gantz leaving the cabinet. Okay, if this is true, this is a little bit red-pilled. Basically a private cabinet vote that's liable to change if Gantz, who doesn't approve of Netanyahu's strategy, leaves. Biden's taking it now, and he's like, oh, you said yes, it counts, so that he can say, so that he can be like, oh, this is coming from Israel, actually, you know? Like, this is actually straight from them, so you can't be mad at me. Israel has offered a roadmap. Yeah, okay, if that's actually true, then this is a pretty neat little snipe. I will say this, you know, we're not revoking our position on this. Biden's still a genocidal monster for what he has done. However, in this moment, a pretty smart snipe. A good little play. We'll see if it actually... I mean, if Netanyahu's really blindsided by this, then this could potentially be a destabilizing for his regime, because it means that it's going to be much harder to do the indefinite war thing. Okay, all right, okay. We'll take this. I guess we'll take it tepidly. You know, we're accepting like a $1 bill that has some poop smeared on it. Huh. This does make sense from Biden's perspective, because as I've said many times before, and I'm happy that reality is affirming my theory a little bit, Biden is a hardline Zionist, but he is not happy at all about what is going on in Gaza for a variety of reasons, most of them, I assume, being electoral and geopolitical, not really ethical. So you know, it makes sense to me that he'd be trying to find a way to end things. It's just funny he would do it like sniping a plan like that, you know? This is kind of like the institutional equivalent of secretly recording Netanyahu, and then you get him on a bad day and he's like, huh, I wish that the war would end. And then Biden like records it and plays it and is like, in line with Netanyahu's will, we are ending the war. Or yeah, kind of like malicious compliance a little bit, you know? We take those.
The ceasefire will still continue as long as negotiations continue. Then phase two, there will be an exchange for the release of all remaining living hostages, including male soldiers. Israeli forces will withdraw from Gaza, and as long as Hamas lives up to its commitments, a temporary ceasefire would become, in the words of the Israeli proposal.
Yo! Dude, he's scared! Netanyahu won't agree to hostage release deal unless it polls well for him, Israeli families say they were told. First of all, you told the families of the hostages that you would only accept the release of their loved ones who have been kept by Hamas for 7 months if it was politically expedient. Why would you say that? Why would you say that? That's so, like, that's so unnecessarily evil. This is like a Disney villain shit. Like, you didn't have to. No, this, it doesn't benefit you to say that. That's just purely a liability. Okay, I mean, you're having your Joker moment. Why would you admit that? Nobody asked you to speak. No one, not one single soul. Netanyahu in speaking to the family members of hostages taken by Hamas on October 7th. Well, we'll see. The reason he's doing this, I assume, is because he's scared. I mean, with the ICC potentially after him on account of the arrest warrants that may or may not actually be approved. You know, in Israel, once the war ends, I don't want to overstate my case. I kind of feel like he's worried about a lamppost. If the war ends, you know, he's not really well liked by the people there. So I don't know, like, he can't go out of Israel, can't stay in Israel. Doesn't that literally just make him look worse for Israel? Yeah, no, like I said, it's senseless evil, and I don't understand why he would say this. I have no idea. Scroll down to the 6th paragraph. Well, thank you for pre-reading. What Biden did also makes him look really bad to the Israeli public. Who gives a fuck about these? Who gives a fuck about those Hitlerites? You kidding me? You could pull anything with the Israeli public. You get at least 40% of them saying that they would eat ice cream out of the skull of a Palestinian child. Those people are crazy. He said the only way to make Netanyahu... Oh, you're saying it makes Bibi look bad. Oh, God, yes. The only way to make Netanyahu do this is to make him understand that it's going to be politically good for him, that if he sees polls that say the Israeli public want to see the hostages home more than it wants the continuation of the war, then he will make a deal. Is he actually going to make it that straightforward? Like, continue the war, kill Palestinians for funsies, or get the hostages back, ostensibly the reason you're doing all of this to begin with? Is that, like... That's laying it so plain and clear. Like, yeah, none of this was about the hostages. I know we knew that, but he's literally juxtaposing them. Well, guys, we can get the hostages back, or we can keep killing people. Like, all right. I thought we were doing this for the hostages. That's what you've been saying for 7 months. We've never found out how many hostages are left. It's like less than 30 now, I think. If Netanyahu insists on continuing the war, even at the expense of the hostages, in this direct a fashion, I wonder if he would... Is there an Israeli equivalent of a vote of no confidence? At what point does Bastille get stormed? Like genuinely, how low can an approval rating get? This is crazy. IDF says it took operational control of Gaza-Egypt border, discovered tunnels. It's not surprising at all. The Israeli government made a conscious and deliberate decision to sacrifice the hostages, said Hostage Family Forum in a statement on Friday. The hostages in the entire state of Israel have been taken captive by those who choose political interests over their national and governmental duty. I mean, that's true. Just, you know. But past a point, Netanyahu's coalition might actually try to oust him themselves. Like, a lot of this is going to get blamed on him, even if they voted for it as well, you know? Egypt tight-lipped over Israeli takeover of Gaza buffer zone. Wait, they took the buffer zone? Not just the border itself on the... Wait. I thought they took the Gaza side of the border, not the buffer zone. Cairo seeks to keep lid on public anger and avoid escalation as IDF moves into the Philadelphia corridor in breach of 1979 peace accord. I didn't know they... What the f***? Oh my god! What?